Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents The Business with Defiance, Grady Hart, Episode 4, Part 5, by Sevastian Winters. I don't look back at San Antonio. There's nothing for me there but dust and shadows. Grady, Sam, and I push south. The big, nameless mare I'm riding, keeping pace and rhythm with Sam's horse and Grady's stallion Crow. We sold the other horses we took from the bank robbers while we were in San Antonio. The quiet stretches between us, broken only by the crunch of gravel under hoof. Grady's face is the same as ever, all stone and silence. And Sam's got that glint in his eye like he's waiting for the next thing to jump out and surprise us. Neither one knows yet if they can trust me, and I'm not about to make it easy on them. I'm not sure I can trust them either. We ride for hours. Grady's got a saddlebag full of cash from the robbers, the men who had kidnapped me and tied me to that damn tree. But he doesn't know how much it matters to me. I could take it, leave these two behind, and start fresh someplace where nobody knows me. But I stay. I don't know why. Maybe it's the pull of what Grady's got planned down in Laredo. Maybe it's the way he looks at me, like he's trying to figure out what I'm hiding. Like he knows I've got a fire I haven't let loose yet. And he's right. I have some business to take care of. But that's my business, none of his. We set up camp when the stars blink to life. Grady and Sam are both the silent types when it comes to the past, so they don't ask questions, but I see Sam eyeing me when he thinks I'm not looking. I stretch out near the fire, my hand never far from the knife strapped to my boot, just in case. Grady's got his back against a rock, hat tipped low, arms crossed like he's trying to squeeze the night out. Sam stirs the fire, his eyes shifting between me and the flames. After a long stretch of silence, Sam finally speaks up. "You ever been to Laredo before?" I shake my head, keeping my eyes on the fire. "Can't say I have," I lie. "And you?" Sam shrugs, smirking. "Once or twice. Rough place, though. Not too friendly to strangers." I snort. "I ain't worried about friendly. I'm a lot more worried about running into Horace, my stepfather. See, I was born and raised in Laredo, and Horace was why I left. After my mama died, I always suspected I would be back, when the good Lord decided it, though I don't know what's so good about him. Truth be told, this Grady Hart fella and Sam, well, they are about the only folks I suspect have ever been kind to me. But I know men, it's just a matter of time, right?" Grady's voice cuts through, low and gravelly. "Ain't about friendly. It's about getting in and out without too much noise. We're looking for a man named Amos Tanner. His wife's waiting for him back in Hell's Half Acre." I feel a flicker of something in my chest. Maybe it's the thought of somebody waiting on somebody else. Ain't nobody ever waited on me. "What's your interest in him?" I ask. Grady is silent for a moment. The two men exchange glances. "I knew it," I say. "Y'all are up to something." Grady doesn't speak. Sam does. "You have to understand Grady," he says. "He came out of his mama with something torn up inside of him. He just can't stay out of other people's business when injustice raises its ugly head." Grady snorts, but doesn't speak. "Is that true, Grady?" I ask. "You some kinda hero?" He smirks and looks at Sam and back at me. "War's over. Slavery's supposed to be over, but these people down here—" "Now, just hold on there, Grady," interjects Sam. "You didn't tell me this Amos feller was a—" Grady shoots him a look that borders on a kind of anger I know well. Would it have mattered? Sam ponders the question. The air between them is thick. Slowly, Sam shakes his head. "No, no, I don't suppose it would," Sam replies. My shoulders relax. I'm surprised. I didn't realize how tense I am. Grady turns back to the fire. "How about you, Defiance?" he asks slowly. "That gonna be a problem for you?" I'm surprised. I'm not used to no man asking my opinion on nothing. I look into his eyes to see if he's teasing me. He ain't. He's waiting for my answer. I look into the night sky. "No Negro ever done nothing to me that I got a problem with," I said. There is silence for a few moments, and I change the subject. I turn to Sam. "So, I get Grady's part in all this," I say. "What's in all this for you?" Sam starts to speak, but Grady cuts him off. Sam's just here for entertainment. I am about to press Sam again when Sam pulls out his pistol and fires one shot in the dirt a fraction of an inch from Grady's boot. Grady looks up slowly. Anger flashes across his face and is replaced by amusement just as quickly. Plus, he's pretty handy with a Colt, Grady says. Sam grins and blows the tip of his gun before replacing it in his holster. We all settle into silence again, each of us lost in our own thoughts. Grady's watching me, though. I can feel it, like he's trying to figure out what's running through my mind. Maybe he suspects I've got a plan of my own. Maybe he's trying to decide if I'm worth keeping around. I meet his gaze. "You got something to say, Grady?" I challenge. He doesn't blink. "Just wondering if you know what you're getting yourself into." I smirk. "I reckon I know more about that than you think." We reach Laredo the next afternoon, the town simmering in the heat, full of dust and old grudges. The minute we cross the town's edge, my heart's already beating faster. Horace is here somewhere, that much I know. But I can't tell Grady and Sam what I'm really after. They don't know I've got business to settle. As we're tying up the horses, I turn to 'em. "I'll get some food and supplies for the road. Catch up with y'all later at the stable 'cross from the saloon." Grady eyes me, suspicion flashing in his eyes, but he doesn't argue. Sam just shrugs, happy enough not to have to fetch things. I grab a handful of bills from one of the saddlebags and slip off into the narrow streets, my steps pulling me toward the old shack on the edge of town, the hellhole I grew up in. Bad memories flash through me the moment I lay eyes on the place. Nothing has changed. I remember the sights, the smells, the yelling. I remember him beating my mama. I remember the way he touched me, the way he forced me to... I stop. Tears are forming in the corners of my eyes, but inside I am a ball of rage. I taste bile in the back of my throat, but I repress it. "You can do this," I whisper to myself, as if outside of my own body. "Do it for your mama. Do it for yourself." I make my way past the pig pen. Chickens avoid my steps. Instinctively, through years of practice, I turn my knee ever so slightly to avoid the corner of the feeding trough that juts just a little too close to the front door of the cabin. My mama always told Horace to move that trough. Horace always said he would, but then he never did. I can hear the clank of a bottle of whiskey through the open window as it is set haphazardly onto the table next to the rocking chair inside. Horace is home, and like usual, he's drinking. I push open the door and step inside, gripping my knife. Horace is, as I expected, sprawled in a chair, and his grin spread slow and ugly as he spots me. "Well," he sneers, voice slithering out like a snake, "ain't you a sight for sore eyes?" He grabs his crotch suggestively. "Girl, you sure do look like your mama." I tighten my grip, taking a step closer. "Shut your mouth, Horace. You're gonna answer for what you did." He stands, that greasy grin not fading. I had forgotten how tall he is. He looms over me. He speaks again. He sounds more sober now, more threatening. "Big words for a little slut that runned off to San Antonio to be a whore. You don't think I know. I know things." Rage slams into me on a level that surprises even me. "What do you know? You don't know shit! How dare you?" I seethe, my voice low, measured, but threatening to break free in a roar. He glowers. "I know there ain't no place for you here, unless you're here to give it up to me for free, for old time's sake." He sneers and reaches for me. I dodge his grasp, but then my fury interrupts me once more, and I stop my retreat and attack. I lunge, blade aimed for his throat, but he's faster than he looks. He grabs my wrist, twisting hard, and the knife clatters to the floor. He slams me against the wall, his breath sour against my face as he sneers. Still just a little girl, thinking she's something special. I thrash against him, but he's stronger than I remember. He pins my hands above my head with one hand, his other clawing at my shirt, tearing it down my shoulder. I'm fighting, kicking, but he doesn't let up. My heart's pounding, fear crawling up my spine. I can't let this happen. Not again. Not ever again. I stop moving. I look up into his eyes. "Think you're gonna hurt me, Horace?" I spit, defiant even as his fingers dig into my skin. "I'd rather die." He laughs, a low, sick sound, his hand gripping me tighter. "Don't worry, girl. You might get your wish." He reaches down for the inside of my thigh. I tense, scanning the room for a weapon. Any weapon. My knife is too far away. His open hand forcibly moves up me. I feel his fingers slip into the waistband of my breeches. I try to struggle, but he has me pinned. How could I have let this happen? I lament not having come with a gun. I hate guns. My knife has always sufficed, but now? My thoughts are interrupted by his fingers pushing themselves into the hem of my panties. I scream. It's guttural. It feels like a scream that is bigger than me, a roar of rage and fear, and I realize futility. Just then, the door crashes open. Grady stands in the doorway, his face hard and unyielding, eyes cold as ice. Horace's grip slackens just for a split second, and that's all I need. I lift a knee and catch him squarely in the crotch. Horace lets go and steps back. Grady is on him in an instant, fists connecting with bone, the sound of flesh meeting knuckles filling the room. He throws Horace to the floor, landing a hard kick to his ribs. Then the head, twice. Horace is out cold. Grady looks at me, the state of my ripped shirt. He turns back to Horace, unconscious on the floor, blood flowing from his lip and nose from where Grady had kicked him. Grady stares down for a moment, like he's making a decision. He looks at me again, then back to Horace. He reaches to his side, pulls out his Colt, aims it at the side of Horace's head, and pulls the trigger. I'm standing there, shaking, staring down at the corpse of the man who once held every ounce of power over me. Grady steps back, looking at me. No expression. I step forward, rage welling up in me once again. I kick Horace in the head, and I spit. When I move to kick him again, Grady takes me by the shoulders and stops me. I let him. I turn and make my way outside. I stand and survey the landscape. The farm is mine now. I don't want it. I stare out into the horizon and take a deep breath. My rage still boils. I look to the sky at a God I sense is watching. I'll deal with you later, I think. I hear the cabin door close behind me. Footsteps. Grady steps beside me. He doesn't say a word, just hands me my knife. I turn my head. He's looking at me. His gray steel and somehow kind eyes are unreadable. My throat tightens, and I can feel the sting of tears threatening, but I swallow them down. He doesn't push me or ask questions, just leads me out of that hellhole, keeping his hand on my shoulder until we reach the hotel. Sam's already there, and Grady nods for him to stay back, to give me space. I sit on the edge of the bed, inside a quiet room they rented just for me, feeling the weight of everything pressing down. Grady stands by the door, watching me, silent. I look up at him, finding some measure of strength in his gaze. "Thank you," I manage to whisper, the words tasting foreign. Grady just nods, his voice low. "Get some rest. Gonna need your help finding Amos tomorrow." I nod. He shuts the door behind him as he leaves. I stand. I walk to the door. I reach for the lock. For the first time ever, I feel like I'm not running. I don't have to. I'm safe. For now.